What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. Sharkey speaking. I hope these are all doing really well. Just before I jump into the review, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video from my channel again. Also hit the like button, it would be massively appreciated, and also put your comments in down below. If you're a new subscriber, a Newcastle fan, a Cardiff City fan, any sort of football fan, put them in down below. Let us know your thoughts about yesterday's early kick-off at the Cardiff City Stadium, where it finished in the early kick-off in the Premier League. Cardiff City 0, Newcastle United 0. A game which was very low on quality. Two teams with nothing really going for ourselves, if I'm honest with you. Two teams which were scared to counter-attack to make anything happen. Cardiff City, if the fans don't mind the saying, they have got a championship squad. They were promoted from the championship and they spent within their means, because they all know that a lot of the fans like ourselves are going to have them to go down, because a lot of teams that come up with the championship, of course, are going to be favourites to go back down if you don't spend enough money. Now, look at ourselves. The reason why I call us a championship side is because even though we finished 10th last season, Rafa Benitez wasn't given the tools to, get recognised, well-respected Premier League players. Now, I don't want to slate Mutu or Rondon. That's not their fault that they've come in, during the summer. And I am grateful for the 7 signings that we've made, of course. But I wanted to see something more than that. I want to see a lot more ambition from Mike Ashley, the owner. That's why we've got a lot of problems at the football club. With Rafa Benitez having 1 year left in his contract, I would have thought that Mike Ashley would have seen common sense to try and get deals over the line, to really kick one from that 10th place finish. I don't think we will, of course, but anyway, less of that. You can see that on some other videos, which I'll show you at the end of this video. It's more about the review more than anything else. So, Rafa Benitez made one change from the game which took place last week at St James's Park against Tottenham Hotspur for the game against Cardiff City yesterday. And the one change was Manquillo came in for the injured DeAndre Yedlin when he pulled up against Tottenham. A lot of the fans were concerned, like myself, that is he going to be out for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, because it didn't look great. Obviously, during the week, the doctor came out and said that it's not as bad as first thought. He did enter training, of course, towards the back end of this game, a couple of days before the game kicked off, but Rafa Benitez didn't see that he was going to be fit enough to join, so that's why Manquillo joined in. And the reason why I was a little bit disappointed that Manquillo joined in at the start 11 was because I don't really rate him, and that's not because he played at Sunderland. I just don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. I don't think he's good enough for any Premier League squad. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, any Premier League fan of any club this season would tell you that. I think he's championship style. That's the sort of way he plays at. I just think he takes too many risks, and that was evident in the first half as he was getting rinsed by Josh Murphy of Cardiff City, the twin brother, obviously, of Jacob Murphy, who we'll have at the football club. Now, this was the team that Rafa Benitez chose, and in goal it was Martin Dubravka. At the back four it was captain Jamal Lascelles, alongside him Kieran Clark. We had also Manquillo alongside that Paul Dummett. In the midfield we had John Joe Shelby and Mo Diarmi. The two wingers were Matt Ritchie and Kennedy. Then we had up front Ayoze Perez, and up front on his own was Joselu. Now, just before we jump into the actual review itself, one criticism I'll give of Rafa Benitez is, why didn't you start Rondon? Now, I'm not being funny, but Joselu is no good. Yes, he did score against Tottenham, but what did he do after that? Not a great deal. Joselu, for me, in this game against Cardiff City, would have made more an impact in sort of the last 10-15 minutes. But he persisted with, the poor Joselu. And for me, Rondon would have caused a lot more problems, and I don't see why we're, signing Rondon and Mutu then, if they're coming on in the second half, because yes, as much as they haven't had minutes, they've got minutes against Tottenham, and we've got to give them a chance, because at the end of the day, this is sort of a new partnership that we're going to have to persist with this season. But anyway, the first half, it was a game low on quality, if I'm honest with you. Cardiff probably just shaded it, if I'm honest, but their chances, were few and far between. When they were putting balls into the box, it wasn't really troubling goalkeeper Dubravka. They were going out for a goal kick, and we were sort of satisfied with that. I think we went into this game a bit overconfident that, yeah, it's only Cardiff City, we'll stroll up and something will happen. And, in the Premier League, you've got to work for it, and that's why Rafa Benitez was cut, an angry figure on that touchline, because nothing was really going for us in that first half, because we weren't trying. We weren't really making an effort to want to do something. Obviously, there was one major incident halfway through the game, and that was Kennedy. When he went in harshly on the Cardiff player. I forgot his name now, it begins with S, do let us know in the comments. Initially, Kennedy won the ball, then he lost it straight away. and instead of just trying to win the ball back properly, he swung a leg at him and obviously went down. Craig Post and the referee never seen it, and yeah, Kennedy got away with it. In my opinion, it was a red card. He knew what he was doing. It's just stupid of him, really. That's because he's frustrated because we haven't really done anything in the game. We've looked lethargic. Passes have got astray. We couldn't string 2 passes together in that first half, and like I say, Cardiff shaded it. If we did create anything in that first half, Everidge, the goalkeeper, was claiming it, and 0-0 at half time was probably a fair reflection. Suppose Cardiff City and Neil Warnock would have been the more happier, to sort of get through the first half at 0-0 against, our squad who got a 1-year experience in the Premier League, of course. Obviously, Manquillo went off with an injury, who obviously was a replacement for Yedlin. He was just poor, in my opinion. He was getting rinsed by Josh Murphy of Cardiff City, and he just couldn't cope with him. And the longer Josh Murphy was ripping him, I reckon Cardiff City could have scored. And if Manquillo had been playing in the second half, which he obviously hadn't, thank goodness for that, would have conceded. Second half, obviously Rafa Benitez brought on Isaac Hayden, who we all know didn't really last too long. He lasted a good less than 20 minutes on the pitch, obviously before getting a red card. But Cardiff, finished where they left off in the first half. Hoylett was putting some set pieces into the box, but they were all going for goal kicks. Dubravka wasn't really tested. We had a couple of shaky moments at the back, of course, one in the first half, but it didn't really trouble too much. Dubravka, Everidge, it was the same for Cardiff City, the goalkeeper. The balls were going at the box, and that was really was happening because we weren't really afraid. So obviously, when Rafa Benitez brought Hayden on to try and cover Manquillo at the back, he didn't do a very good job, and the game needed something to change. And obviously, we went down to 10 men because Hayden decided to go in 2-footed behind, Josh Murphy. When Josh Murphy picked up the ball, he wasn't really going anywhere. Hayden was out of control, and it was a dangerous tackle. And obviously, Josh Murphy went down. He was lucky not to, cause serious pain to Josh Murphy, and he obviously got up and continued, of course. Hayden got a red card. It was foolish, lethargic, clumsy. And I know he's frustrated that he's not getting games, but you don't need to go in like that. And he had a chance to prove himself, under Rafa, that the trust is still there and he's going to get regular games. But now he's going to be out for 3 games because of the silly tackle, and he should have went in properly. Because he didn't, the idiot, he got red card, and he was even appealing to the fourth official. He told him to go straight to the dressing room, but from what I've seen, there's no need. Then obviously Rafa Benitez made a couple of more changes as well. He brought on Mutu as well to give him a sort of a shot. You got half an hour, which was great, as you only got 10 minutes against Tottenham. Something had to give because nothing was really happening with Hoslu and that up front. And talking of Hoslu, he also got snapped by Arter of Cardiff City. For me, that was a straight red card. Arter was out of control. Again, that was another career-threatening injury to Joslu, a bit like Josh Murphy. Hoslu was going nowhere. He picked up the ball. Instead of just going in 2-footed and being out of control, he should have just tried to win the ball back properly. And if he couldn't, I'm sure there would have been a Cardiff centre-back to try and stop Hoslu, because Hoslu isn't exactly the quickest. But obviously he got away with it yet again. And I'm not going to complain too much about Arter, because I think at the end of the day, he would argue for Kennedy. We could have easily went down to 9 men in this game because we just lost total control of the game, and we weren't really playing at the formation. And the longer the game went on, the longer I was just getting bored watching it on the highlights. And obviously it was last match of the day, of course. And then talking of Mutu, obviously he picked up the ball. There was 90 minutes on the clock. The time was up. There was about 6 minutes of stoppage time, and just when you think it was going towards a 0-0 draw, and you think 10 men would done really, really well, because Hayden could easily have cost us the game. We've travelled miles to go down to Cardiff. Obviously I didn't go. Big up to all the Newcastle fans that did. He could have lost us the game. We defended really, really well, and we had a massive opportunity when Mutu crossed in the ball, and the Cardiff City man, handballed it in the box. Was it in the box, outside the box? The pundits on Match of the Day and Sky are saying, that it wasn't. But obviously the referee gave it. Up stepped Kennedy, and it was a great save, by the goalkeeper. It was easy as you like, straight down the middle. For me, I think Shelby should have taken it. He was getting grief all day by the Cardiff City fans. of course, because he used to play for Swansea, he should have picked up the ball and goes, you know what, I'm going to stick one past yours and up yours. But obviously Kennedy wanted to, take it. He missed, but you know what, I'm not going to slate the lad at the end of the day. He had a poor game, and obviously it would be karma to the Cardiff City fans, because at the end of the day, they did deserve the point. I don't think we really deserve the 3 points, if I'm honest with you. It would have been great, of course, but we didn't deserve the 3 points. If you look at the whole complexion of the game, low on quality. Keepers of both Newcastle and Cardiff could have just been sat there, drinking their tea, because that's how poor the game was, and it's two, bang average sides that will be battling relegation this season. Hopefully, we're not going to be battling relegation for long parts like Cardiff will be, but the 2 games that I've witnessed so far, it's going to be a long season. But you know what, Kennedy was good. Of course, he put his head in the Newcastle top, and rightly so, because he had a poor game. But I'm not going to slate the lad. All 10 outfield players for me should be disappointed. They should be ashamed. Obviously, there was a chance there to go and get 3 points, and because we were overconfident, we got what we deserved, and that was the point. I don't think Cardiff played brilliant. Neil Warnock even said that. Cardiff did miss a couple of free kicks, now which went wide, and that was the tail of the game. Really, balls were going here, there, and everywhere. A bit of a dull affair for what is the last match of the day. We deserved to be, and that's just the way the game went. What more can I say, really? At the end of the day, I've got to be positive that we've got a point. We've kicked off a season now with a point after 2 games. We could easily have lost it. Could have been Cardiff with that pen late on, and they could have scored, and we could have lost all 3 points. So at the end of the day, I'm not complaining about the result, and we're in 12th place at the minute. That will change. Obviously, there's games today, so we might even move down the table depending on what's going on. It's early days. I'm sure we'll pick up points eventually. We have got a tough run in against Chelsea at home next week on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised actually if we actually got points against those, because we're like against so-called bigger clubs. And then followed by Arsenal and Man City. But that's why we're in the Premier League. We've got to come up against these sort of teams. And at the end of the day, there's no point feeling sorry for ourselves. There's a long way to go this season, to pick up points. Rafa Benitez said at the end he was confident, that we can't pick up points. And, we didn't kind of stick to the plan that he wanted. But, he said that we'll all miss pens, we'll all make mistakes. And at the end of the day, we've got a point. And he said he's satisfied with that. Could have easily been a hell of a lot worse, and we'll move on. That's all you can do, really move on from it. We've got a point. I'm happy with it. That's all we deserved. I want to know your thoughts, Newcastle fans, Cardiff City fans, all football fans. Please let us know what you thought of the review as well. And like I say, I will be at the Sunderland game, which is on Monday night at St James's Park. It's like a little mini time we have derby. I'll do a little mini match day experience from that as well on the channel, so stay tuned for that. I'll also be at the Chelsea game, of course, next Sunday. I'll be back with the match day experience for that game as well. And it's just one of those, and we're just gonna have to move on. And like I say, thank you so much for watching, and like I say, thank you so much for the the support as of late. I will be back as well on Tuesday night with the roundup of the Premier League fixtures as well, and see how he's all got on. And like I say, until the next one, thank you so much for watching. Stay behind Rafa, stay behind the lads. I'm talking about the lads. Away the lads.